Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Music Den. I am your host, Armando Venditti, and today I have a very special guest from Ohio, Mr. Ryan Gavalier. How's it going,
Hello.
Ryan?
Oh, it's going fantastic. Thanks. How's it going for you?
It's going good so far, but the day's young. You never know. You
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen, right? So, um, on this episode, Ryan approached me about doing this a few weeks back. What we're going to be doing is ranking our top 5 Madonna songs. I told you guys that when we did this, when I did the intro video, that I was going to be covering a wide spectrum of music, not just rock, not just progressive rock or rock in general. We're going to be covering pop music as well. So we both love Madonna, either past or present or future, whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we wanted to tackle this. Actually, we talked about we could have done 10 songs, but we just decided to do 5 for this episode. So,
Definitely.
quick question: have you ever seen Madonna live? All right.
I have not. I really wanted to this time around, but it was just too expensive for me, honestly. Like, I really didn't start going to live music with any frequency until about last year. Like, I would go to occasional concerts. Like,
Mm,
before last year, I had probably been to like four major artists like concerts, and then the rest was like small punk jazz shows, like smaller artists and things like that. So I've not yet. I'd like to if I get the chance, but with the way that her ticket prices look, it's probably not going to happen.
yeah, yeah, no. Little footnote, by the way, Madonna, if you're watching, having people pay $6,000 for a ticket for your Montreal show ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I've seen Madonna 3 times in concert.
Really? How was she?
She was at her lip sync best. Um, she she was good. No, I mean I've seen her on the Girly Show in '93,
Mhm.
on the um, Hard Candy tour, the tour for Hard Candy, and I saw her on the Rebel Heart tour.
Oh, wow.
So I think I've seen her enough, but I mean she's always good. She always delivers.
Mhm.
Um, lip sync or not, let's not go into that. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right, guys? So I mean, but yeah, what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to rank our top 5 Madonna songs. And being raised proper by my mother, I will let you go first, Ryan. What's your
Thank
number
you.
5?
All right. So I gotta say, like, this was a really hard thing to do because, like, I do like, I'd say it, I'd say I enjoy pretty much everything that Madonna's put out. I think some of her later stuff, I'm I'm a bit ambivalent, so none of that was really gonna make the list. I think nothing past like 2005 could have made the list for me. Um,
Yeah.
but when I really looked at 5 songs, I ended up going really 80s to early 90s. For me, that's where a lot of my favorite tracks come from. I do have some albums, like whole albums that I enjoy more that came later on,
Yeah.
like Ray of Light, Music, and Confessions on the Dance Floor. But when I was looking at individual tracks, I was like, I think I'm gonna go with some of the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
So 5, I went with Erotica. Um,
Wow. Okay.
I like the kind of like heavy drum beat to it and just stuff. I mean, this is where she was kind of really at her peak influence with like house music and down tempo and like hip hop beats and stuff. And I thought that was like a super cool time for her in music, like when she
Yeah.
was doing this, and like another song that's going to be on my list as well. But I just think this one, it has a cool seedy type of feel. I like the way she sings on "Put Your Hands All Over My Body." It's just really like it's kind of trance like. It just feels almost kind of out of like a movie kind of. But it's
Yeah.
just a really cool song.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I also like something I like to do with this one because I have the 45. Sometimes I like to play it on 33. And it's super cool, those
Really?
beats and stuff. I play a
Oh,
lot of her songs on 33. Borderline sounds like a Cure song if you play it on the 33.
oh my God.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
Robert Smith. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a good track. That samples Jungle Boogie from Kool and the Gang. It's got
Oh,
the
that's right.
sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the first album first and only album that she produced with Shep Pettibone, the club mixer, remixer.
Yeah. It's
And
one of
he's
my
a
favorite albums by her, honestly. I
yeah,
think it was, I mean, I know it caused controversy because of like the lyrical content. I don't really care about that stuff. I barely even listen to lyrics half of the
mm,
time. Like some artists I do more than others.
mm,
For me here though, I like how experimental that album was. I like her vocals. I
yeah,
like the tone of her voice a lot on it. And now, like I said, I love those like house beats and stuff. That
yeah.
album was actually extremely influential to me wanting to become in electronic music myself. So I guess like I definitely have a real soft spot for that era of Madonna.
Yes, guys, or Mr. Gavalier here is a musician extraordinaire. He's got one EP out and he's got another one coming out May 1st, and he's working on a third. So please support Mr. Gavalier. He's fantastic. Ryan is a fantastic musician. I've heard the
Thank you.
first EP, and Ryan's going to go places. I promise you.
Thank you.
Promise you. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. I mean, erotica. I remember at the time. I mean, I saw her on. I was, like I said, I saw her on the Girly Show tour, and which supported the erotica album. And I mean, at the time she had the sex book out, and with all those images. And by the way, guys, my mother saw that book. She didn't think it was a big deal. So anyways, no, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. My number 5 is Take a Bow from Bedtime Stories. Now,
Nice.
I've always loved this track. I've always loved it. It's very, it's the ballad on the album. It's the last track on the album. It's sad. It's soulful. It's melodic. It's just a bloody good track. Done with Babyface, Kenny Babyface Edmonds.
Yeah.
Writer, producer extraordinaire. I just think this track is
I'm so
yeah, it is.
That
It's
was
just,
such a great album in
it
general. I
is.
love bedtime stories.
Yeah, and what I like about Bedtime Stories is, I mean, there are other tracks on there too. There's, Survival. There's Secret, which, by the way, guys, if you're watching, if you can get a hold of the Junior Vasquez remix of Secret, go for it. It's amazing. It's an ass shaker of a remix. I'm telling you. Right, there's that phrase again.
Every time I'm on an episode with you, Armando, Ass Shaker comes out somehow.
Yeah, ass shaker is going to come up a lot in this episode. So get your ass shaking, guys, and let's have a good time. Right? There we go. There we go. Ryan's doing it. Why not? What the hell? Great Pink Floyd shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's my number 5. Take a Bow. What I liked about Bedtime Stories is she didn't promote the album or mega promote the album. It just sort of came out very like under the radar, and it made an impact just as much, right? So
Yeah.
and I do believe she'll work with Bjork on this album. I think Bjork has a songwriting credit on the album. I'm not sure,
I
but
think you're right.
I gotta
Yeah.
double check my facts, guys. Okay, so we're moving on, guys. What's your number 4?
All right, so my number 4, we're going back to the debut album, which I've
Ah,
always said that the debut album and Erotica are probably my 2 favorite Madonna albums, honestly.
really?
I
Really?
think the debut is such a fantastic synth pop record. And the song that I'm going with off it is Lucky Star. Um, I
Okay.
just think that I love the little synth lines in here, all the like dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, yeah,
dun.
yeah. Yeah.
It's so danceable. And I love her voice. You might be my lucky star.
Yeah.
Cause you made the it's such a catchy rhythm. That's like one of my favorite ones to just sing along to of hers. I think it's an extremely catchy song. Like I said, I mean, it was 83, I want to say. So it was like kind of in the I feel like it was a pretty unique album at the time. I mean, it was produced by Jelly Bean. I can't remember his last name, but
Jelly Bean Benitez, yeah.
yes. Yeah, and he did a great job with the production. I think Madonna was on fire. And this has just always been the song on this album that really resonated with me. I thought about Holiday, I thought about Borderline, I thought about Think of Me because I love that song, but
Yeah.
I ended up going with Lucky Star.
But there's a bunch of great tracks on the album. I mean, I
Oh
have the
yeah,
vinyl. I have the vinyl. I mean, that's a good choice. Borderline.
thank you.
But I mean, there's Burning Up, there's
Yes,
Everybody, there's
Physical
Physical
Attraction.
Attraction, in
It's a
stereo.
great
Just
album.
say it together. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And
Thanks.
yeah, no, it's good. But what I don't know if you noticed this, well, with every album that she released, her voice sort of went to a lower register, like a lower
Hmm.
octave, like it kind of matured with
Yeah.
every album. Like Madonna, the debut album, she's singing like up here in the register, and every album she sort of went down lower, lower, lower. So I think it's a fantastic album. It's a good pick.
I think it might have probably been differentiator Saul from Cyndi Lauper. Because Cyndi Lauper had that really high register voice too in those early days. Like girls just want to have fun and stuff.
Yeah, the media kind of sort of pitted one against the other, but
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, there's no competition here.
Oh
I
no,
mean, there's no
no,
comparison. I
never.
mean, you know, but
Madonna was so much better.
yeah, but that's again, that's of course, but that's just our opinion, right? I mean, there you go.
Thank
That is a good choice.
you.
My number 4 is Frozen from Ray of Light, 98. Her
Very nice.
some would say her comeback album after being away for it's about 5 years as Ryan takes off camera. I think he's gonna go get a prop, guys. Yeah, it was released off of Ray of Light from 1998. And this was where she was going into her trip hop phase.
Yeah.
Very kind of like ambient kind of music, but also, and there's a club mix of this that's out there. It's like 11 minutes long. It's like a massive club mix, which I have somewhere in the house in my collection. But she also used a bit of Middle Eastern influences on this track, like it's either samples or instrumentation. I would believe would be samples, because at this point, this is where she started to really get into her electronica phase. I mean, the original title for the album was Veronica Electronica, right? Which Veronica is one of her birth names. But yeah, no, Frozen, I just think it's a fantastic piece of work.
Yeah.
Very trippy, very sort of, again, ambient, kind of like takes you away on a, somewhere, wherever you want to go, right? I don't know,
Yeah.
depending on what influences you're under. But we won't go there. So that's my number 4.
I think that's a fantastic track. I think that was a beautiful one. It's a great choice. I think that whole album honestly just kind of puts you in like a fever dream almost. Like it's
Yeah.
very trance-like. I think for me that was kind of why I had a little, because I really wanted to pick a track from that album because I just love that album so much. But I was like, I never listened to it for individual tracks. It's always just a beginning to end kind of
Yeah.
album because of how ambient it is and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, if they had sequenced the album as one continual play, like segued one track into the other, that's basically what it is. It's just one huge trip hop trip, if you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in
No,
terms
it is.
of the style of music it is. And this is where people say music, the album after this is where she really got into the electronic music field. But I think this is the album that started it. It's
Yeah. I think music was a bit more aggressive with the electronica.
Yeah.
Where this one kind of took a bit more of like you said, the ambient approach, where like the next album you have a bit more heavier beats at times and stuff.
Yeah, music has more songs as opposed
Yeah,
to Ray of Light has more ambient textures, keyboard ambient textures that sort of blend into one another, right? So
yeah.
they can see me doing this, blend into one another. So here come the hooks. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's number 4. What is your number 3?
So my number 3 is
Oh,
Justify My Love.
cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
so this is the single version here, the 12-inch. And so I really like the original version of the song, the one that, was on the greatest hits, the one that was like the original single and stuff. But I also really love the hip hop mix that's on here.
Mhm.
The drums are a bit heavier. You got some really cool samples over top of it. The only thing I don't like about the hip hop version, is there's the way that she pronounces justify, because she goes, justify my love now. She does kind of weird stuff like that on it.
Okay.
That-
Her enunciation's a bit
She
off.
doesn't pull that off completely. That's the only thing about that one. But
Okay.
fantastic version. I just think that this song, you had that really cool drum beat, you had that breathy vocal performance from her. I mean, depending on which version you listen to, it could be a bit more explicit than others. Like the hip hop mix, she gets a bit further at times. But just a really cutting edge song. I love the beat. I love the synths on it. Play all the keyboards and stuff.
Yeah.
Her vocals are fantastic. It's just, for me, I remember this was actually, God, I think this was probably the first Madonna song I ever heard.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to have this documentary um called The History of Rock and Roll.
Okay.
And so it's like this big, like 10 disc mini series about like the entire foundation of the genre and stuff.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
I used to just watch this thing like religiously because I thought it was just like one of the best documentaries I'd ever seen.
Mhm.
Um, but there was an episode where they were talking about like MTV and how this music video had gotten banned in a lot of places and they
Yeah.
played it.
Yeah.
And because I was like a kid at this time. I was probably like 12 or 13. So like I was like, oh shit, this is interesting.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
I mean,
yeah, like
yeah. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of odd because when you look at the video now, it's like, come on, like
it's tame.
what was to ban? I mean, compared to
Yeah.
what some commercials are out these days, I mean, like that video was nothing. And she was like, I mean, we'll go back a minute. I mean, Madonna has always said she knows that she doesn't have the best voice. Her thing is pushing buttons, right? How far can she go? And how far as the audience will we let her go? Right? So, I mean, and as a business woman, when the video was banned off of Much Music in Canada and MTV in America, she basically packaged it up and sold it herself. On the VHS guys back in the days. So she made a shitload of money, at the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Lenny Kravitz co-wrote the track, and
Yeah.
Ingrid Chavez, who worked with Prince, also has some lyrical credit on the track. I think don't quote me, but I think she had to like fight for that,
Yeah.
getting her name put on the track. So
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it's just, I feel like it was such a cutting edge songs. What
yeah.
was it, like 91 it came out? I want to say 90 or 91.
Mm,
Uh
it was on
90.
the
90.
Immaculate 90. Yeah, because it was on the Immaculate Collection.
Yeah. So I mean,
CD.
for 90, that was like a pretty cutting edge track. And I mean, you could definitely see the influence that it had to. I mean, I feel like that was her. I feel like it's a real artistic evolution for her because she had done nothing like it before. It was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's a good one. These selections, I mean, the one good thing is that we're not repeating each other here. So
Yeah.
we're
Oh,
giving it.
and here's the debut, by the way. I also think this is a fantastic album cover. It's super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Seymour Stein passed away, the owner of Sire Records, who signed Madonna, who
Oh
apparently
yeah.
signed her from his hospital bed. That he wanted to sign her so quick that she actually went to the hospital for him to sign her up, give her a contract. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
oh yeah. There's stories out there, believe me. Okay, moving on. My number 3 is Express Yourself from Like a Prayer,
Mhm.
but there's a caveat here. I'm not talking about the album version, which is track 2 on side 1. I'm talking about the Shep Pettibone
It's on
remix.
this.
Oh, you have it there. Okay. And if you, okay. So, and if you guys out there have seen the video for it, where she, it's almost like in a future time where, a future setting where basically she's in control of who is with her, who works for her, who is in a relationship with her, whatever. So she's in perfect control of her destiny, of whatever she wants, right? And the video is very, in terms of the color scheme, it's very Art Deco type of look. And there's a scene where there's a pan shot that comes in, and they pan to her, and she's sitting on a couch, dressed very elegantly in a pantsuit, her legs across. She's got a cigarette with a long tip filter, and she looks like Marlene Dietrich in this one, man. I'm like, holy geez. And the production that Shep Pettibone does on this track is bloody amazing. Again, another ass shaker. Just saying. And when she performed this track, it was the opening track that she did on the Blonde Ambition tour. She did this version of Express Yourself. She did the Shep Pettibone remix live. So it's amazing. But not that I know this stuff, right? So yeah, that's my number 3. Coming to number 2.
All right. So this was really a struggle for me. There was like, because like I said, there's like 50 songs I could have used on this list. But I'm gonna go to True Blue. Um, and actually the opening track, Papa Don't Preach. Um, I've always thought this song was super cool. Like I love all the instrumentation, those like kind of mystical like acoustic guitar solos and stuff. You got the cool synths. Madonna sings her ass off on this song. She puts a lot of conviction into the lyrics and
Yeah.
stuff. Um, it's kind of moody, the song, but at the same time, you kind of move to it still. Um, I struggled what song to pick off of this album because I do think this album is kind of a triumph of an album. I mean, you got Live to Tell on here, which is absolutely beautiful. You got Open
Mhm.
Your Heart. You got True Blue. You got La Isla Bonita. Last Night I Dreamed of Some Bagels. Like
La Isla Bonita. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. La Isla Bonita. No, it's good.
Last
And
night I dreamt of some bagels.
oh my God. Okay. I told you he's a good performer, guys. He's a good musician and good singer. There you go. Um, but yeah, no, that is a good choice. My favorite track on that album is the last track on side two, Love Makes the World Go Around.
Oh yeah.
Which has Saida Garrett and Edie Lehman on backing vocals. But yeah, no, that's good. That's a good yeah, Papa Don't Preach. I don't know if you remember the video, but when she was dancing, when they had like a long shot from her and she was dancing and she did a flip with her, like almost like she arched her back and her boob came out of her tube top at the time. And you just see just a little bit of the nipple, just a little, but you do see it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if that's your thing, there you go. Right.
I
Check it out.
never noticed, honestly, but
Really? Go
no,
back. Are you serious? You never saw it?
mm,
Okay. Go back and check it out. I'm telling you, you'll see it. Anyways, my job is done, ladies and gentlemen. I made Ryan laugh today, so this is going to be fun. Okay. My number two. We're at number two, right?
yes,
Number two is Vogue.
nice.
Came out, and I remember because came out in 1990. This was her in between her. I'm not sure if she did the soundtrack to Dick Tracy at that point. Like, I mean, she did the Like a Pro album. She went on tour, and at the same time, she was recording the soundtrack. The album's called I'm Breathless. But this is the last track on the soundtrack to the Dick Tracy movie. And it stands out, obviously, from the rest of the stuff that's on there, because it's basically a movie soundtrack, right? Fantastic dance track written by her, Madonna and Shep Pettibone. And I mean, the video, I mean, hello, black and white with the dancers, the way they were dressed, the way they were doing the moves, and the Vogue, whatever, dance, came out of the clubs, the New York gay clubs. There is a remix, a club mix of this that clocks in like 8 minutes and 45 seconds. It's just amazing. Yeah, and the story of it was they were working on the remix of the club mix for Keep It Together, and they wanted to write a song to go on the B-side for Keep It, for the single, but they liked the track so much that they kept it for a future release, and it's just amazing. It was a good way to introduce Madonna to the 90s, right? Whether or not she kept up that momentum throughout the 90s is up for interpretation or opinion. But at this point, she was white hot in her career. Nothing she did bombed, right? Except her acting career. But that's another issue. Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing top 5 Madonna movies.
No. I will not. No. I mean, she has collected the Booby Prize quite a bit for her acting roles, but but having said that, Evita was not one of them. So if you guys want to check out Evita. That was a good movie.
It was. Yeah.
But well, do you remember when Vogue came out? Just quickly.
I want to say that wasn't that 90?
Yeah.
I think that was 90.
Spring of 1990.
Yeah. I mean, she had so much cool stuff coming out at that point in time.
Yeah.
That was her peak era, I think, where she was like really changing a lot about music in like a little bit of time. Because then she did some stuff with Massive Attack a few years later too, and that was pretty cool. Like, she really got into that whole like down tempo trip hop electronic scene and house music, and it's like it was a really cool turn for her. I'm really glad she went that route.
Yeah, I think that had she not, I mean, like like we were talking about with you too. Like I had said that you too with Achtung Baby. Is that excuse me, as I clear my throat here. I had said before with Achtung Baby that if and Ryan's gonna have a laughing fit on camera. So I had said about Achtung Baby that had they not released it after Rattle and Hum, they would have become a caricature of themselves.
Definitely.
I think with Madonna, had she not changed her style, even with Ray of Light, like to go into that, down tempo, trip hop, ambient arena, I think that she would have suffered the same fate because you gotta, I don't know, you gotta keep changing, like do something. I mean, obviously do what you like, but the only thing constant in life is change, right? So, especially with music, right? So, when Vogue came out, it was just like, whoa! I'm like, what the hell is this, right? Like, just to me, that was when dance music was at its peak, in terms of the clubs and stuff. Okay, number one, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Ryan, what's your number one?
Oh man, honestly, like I don't think there was any other song I could choose than this for myself, because this song kind of like, I know I said that Justify My Love was probably my first song I heard by Madonna, but I feel like a Virgin really opened the floodgates for me song wise with her. I mean, I just think in terms of like an 80s pop song, I don't think it can get much better than Like a Virgin. I think that if we're looking at this album as a whole, I think it's one of her weaker efforts. But I think that she did have some amazing singles on this album. I think as a whole, it was kind of a disappointment after the first album. But to have a song like a Virgin on here, one of the best songs of all time. I mean, the lyrics, they are ones that I listened to. They were ones that, I don't know, kind of hit, I guess. They're really great. They're just fantastic, honestly. Material Girl on here too was another one I kind of thought about, but I don't listen to it nearly as much as I do Like a Virgin. I mean, that for a long time, honestly, Like a Virgin is just a song that I'll put on. Like, there's just times where I just have to repeat it right after it's done because it's just so good. I mean, the synth lines on it are awesome. That and all that stuff. It's just so singable. Like I could sing pretty much every note of that song.
Almost
all
like,
the
yeah.
arrangements and stuff. It's just production brilliance. I mean, Niles Rodgers is one of my favorite producers of all time. And
Yeah.
just one of my favorite like artists of all time. I mean, I think Chic is fantastic. Talk
Mhm.
about ass shakers. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can take that term now. But
Sorry, what was that term? What'd you say? Sorry.
I said talk about ass
Oh,
shakers.
Ashton. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chic is full of them. So like
Tell me
I
about it.
love that stuff. But yeah, I just think that this song, like I said, lyrically, the melody, the chorus, everything about it is just perfection. I think it shows what pop music is meant to be. And obviously it was a pretty groundbreaking song too at the time,
Hmm.
especially for women to be able to express themselves a bit more musically and stuff. So I think the impact of it's cool. And I think that Madonna's impact in that whole regard, like, I guess her as a cultural phenomenon on top of artist, and
Hmm.
I guess the influence she's had in those regards too is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a Virgin, that's my favorite Madonna song. I know it's cliche, I know it's one of her biggest hits,
No, I mean,
I love it.
it's fine. I mean, it's a classic, and
Yeah,
um, I
we
mean,
probably
she's
wouldn't be sitting here talking about her if it wasn't for that song.
exactly. The people were saying that when the um when the debut came out, they were saying that, oh, a year from now, Madonna, this girl, a woman named Madonna, she's not going to be around. Like she's not, she's not gonna, she doesn't have what it takes to survive or sustain herself. And then she comes out with Like a Virgin, and it takes off, right? I mean, you've got other songs on there. You've got, again, like you said, Material Girl, you've got Dress You Up,
Yeah,
Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Um, the ballad, I think it's on that. It's on, there's a version of that on the album, right?
cool.
And the
Yeah.
story, yeah, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. The Because I know she had like a compilation out. I think it's called Something to Remember, all the ballads that she did and stuff. And
Mhm.
there's a version of Love Don't Live Here Anymore on that album. So um I remember now Rogers gave an interview about working with Madonna, and she presented him the demos that she wanted to, you know, produce and work with. And she says to him, the only way you're going to work on my album is if you tell me that these songs are good. If you like every song that I'm giving you now, then we can work together. If not, then we're not going to do it. And he looked at her dead square in the face. He goes, they're not good now, but once I get through with them, they will be. So, I mean, he basically, without doing it, put her in her place, right? Like, not overly so, but he basically said, look, I don't care who you are. I'm the producer. If you want to work with me, that's fine, but you're going to take my direction, and we're going to make these songs memorable. And he did. So, um, not that I know this
Yeah.
stuff, right? Uh, okay. Okay, guys. My number one track is, and this is going to cause a bit of an uproar. Dear Jesse from Like a Prayer, side two, track two. Uh,
Wow.
this song was not released in North America. It was released in England as a single. The CD single cover has a picture of Madonna with Mickey Mouse ears in bed, looking up at the ceiling, kind of thing. Um, it's a different track than what's on Like a Prayer. Uh, there are strings. There's a string arrangement to it. It's in 4/4 time until you get to the middle section where it's in 3/4 time with acoustic guitars, strumming acoustic guitars. It's basically a child's lullaby, and it's basically telling the child, Jesse, that your life is just beginning and you have an adventure ahead of you. Hold on, because it's a bumpy ride. Okay. And I've always loved this song ever since I heard it. There are other tracks on this album, the title track, Cherish, Express Yourself, Keep It Together, Oh Father. But for me, since 1989, this track has always been my number one favorite Madonna song. I love the arrangement. I love the synthetic strings are not, I don't give a shit. I love the track. I love the arrangement. And the story of it was she was working with Patrick Leonard as a producer. And he was late for a recording session. And she got pissed off at him, obviously, because it's Madonna. How dare you keep me waiting? You piece of shit of a man, whatever, right? Which is what she used to say to people, like, I'm Madonna, you can't do this to me. But he showed up late because he had to pick up his daughter at daycare.
Mm-hmm.
So Madonna, the story goes, according to Leonard, Madonna and his daughter started talking, and he saw that they had a rapport going on. So he presented her this song, Dear Jessie, and she loved it. She changed some lyrics on it, so she got writing credit on it. And it's just, to me, it's a very emotional, very beautiful, very poignant track on the album. And also with the Pink Floyd, there's a Pink Floyd connection. Guy Pratt, who plays bass with Pink Floyd when they tour, he played bass on Oh Father and Like a Prayer. And he also does some percussion on Dear Jessie. So there's the Pink Floyd reference in there. I gotta do a tie-in, right? But yeah. So yeah, again, if you guys haven't heard it, like when we're gonna do this list, I listened to that track like 5 times in a row on YouTube, and it's just, I've loved it then, I love it now, and that's always going to be my number one. So, but yeah, do you have any honorable mentions?
Oh yeah. Like
oh yeah, go on.
Secret Garden, which I love the single of. I have it, like the extended version. Borderline, like I said, Think of Me, Like a Prayer, the song Music. I love that track. It's so good. I'm trying to think here. Bunch of ones I already mentioned. I won't repeat them, but yeah, I guess like there's just so many. I mean, like I said, for me, honestly, like with her, a lot of the time I listen to the albums because I actually do think that, well, that's actually why I said that I think that Like a Prayer is one of the weaker albums, because even though I do think a lot of the tracks on it are good, I do think it has some of the most filler of her albums. Because I think like you look at like Erotica, there's not a moment that I want to skip a track. There's a couple on Like a Prayer that like I'm a little bit ambivalent to, like Shooby Doo and stuff. I'm not too huge on that. But
Like a Virgin,
yeah, but like I don't know. There's so many. I feel like I'm not naming enough, but at the same time, it's just like I could name like 60 Madonna songs right now. Cause I think for like at least the first like 20 something years of her career, she was just putting out knockout after knockout.
yeah.
I'd say nowadays she has some decent stuff still. It just all kind of sounds the same. It's kind of like what you were talking about, how she needed to change when she did Justify My Love and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like she hasn't changed in long enough now, and it's just like I'm kind of bored of what she's putting on at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
like,
I
I think Confessions of the Dance Floor is the last one I really liked.
yeah. Yeah. I tend to agree. I mean, I have Rebel Heart, the album.
Yeah,
I did buy it because I like the stuff that's on it.
yeah, they're fine albums. It's just,
I don't think, like you were saying, I personally, in my very, very, very humble opinion, I don't think she has progressed as an artist. I don't think she's changed her sound, and I really don't think she wants to,
yeah.
if that
I
makes
don't
any
think she
sense.
needs to either. Like, I mean, it's like whether she sell records or not at this point, she's gonna be a superstar no matter what.
Yeah,
She could pretty
yeah.
much do whatever she wants at this point.
Well, I mean, she could release an album of burps and flatulence and as songs, and it would sell on the basis of it being a Madonna album, right? And I don't know. It's just, I think, I mean, what would, okay, so you think Confessions on the Dance Floor was her last good album?
Well, that's great.
Last great album.
I think her stuff is fine now. I just don't think it's really worth. I wouldn't put any of it on a list.
Yeah, yeah. MDNA, Madam X. Sorry. I it just, yeah, I would agree. I think that once she did music, I mean, yes, okay, she started with Ray of Light to do that down tempo, trip hop, ambient kind of thing, which she's come back to again and again. But once she did music in 2000, she stayed in that vein, in that lane kind of thing, and didn't waver, didn't try anything different. Which some people say is good, some people say it could be to her detriment. I don't know. But for me, I think I am agree. And guys, we didn't talk about this before we went on air at all. We didn't even communicate at all about this, but I'm in agreement with you. I think that Confessions on a Dance Floor is one of her more consistent, stronger albums, track to track, like all through the album. There's not one track that you can't say, okay, I don't like this bass, I don't like this melody here. There's something on the album that everyone would like. Every song is good, like Sorry, Jump, Forbidden Love, um, Isaac, there's a lot of stuff on there that makes it a consistent album. But yeah, in terms of honorable mentions for me, I really don't have any. I mean, they're all good. I mean, it's, I'd be
Yeah,
repeating what you're saying kind of a thing. So, but yeah, no, this was fun. This was fun.
definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess this brings us to the end of this show. I want to thank Ryan Gavalier for joining me and for making me laugh for this whole bloody hour.
Right back at you. It was a good time. Thanks for having me on, and we'll definitely have to do another one sometime soon.
Definitely, anytime that you want to come on, you are always welcome. So
Yeah.
anyway, to make this official, I will say goodbye for now. Guys, please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep on top of any new content that I'll be putting out. And please also, most important, leave your comments below down there and let me know what you think. Yeah, down there. And let me know what you think, your favorite Madonna tracks are. And hopefully this show resonates with you guys, and go down memory lane and just put down some tracks that you like. And I want to try and get a dialogue going, on this channel. So for Ryan Gavalier, I am Armando Venditti. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are taking care of each other and yourselves, and we will chat to you very, very soon. Bye for now.